The way in which you speak about the survivors and victims in these cases matters because you can either build that trust between you and the survivors in your life or break it down by the way you speak.
So earlier this month, thousands of pages of previously sealed documents were made public. Those include emails, flight logs, and depositions that shed light on Epstein's network and influence. Survivors and advocates have been calling for transparency around this for years, and we're really just now starting to see how far-reaching this case was.
There's been a lot of conversations about age of consent and if people are barely legal, if they are able to give consent. And that conversation is honestly really unempathetic and really inconsiderate. And so we wanted to talk about that regardless of somebody's age, consent is necessary. And
Yes.
there are laws in place where making people aren't able to give consent, right? If somebody is a
Yes.
child, if they are under the age of 18, even if they're 17, they are not legally can give consent,
Right.
right?
Like full stop.
Um, full stop.
Full stop.
And I think a lot of people that are having these conversations that are talking about this don't understand the dynamics of power-based violence or just power dynamics in general,
Right.
right? We are holding 15, 16, 17-year-old girls to a higher standard than we are to 40-year-old men. And that is unacceptable. You're asking or saying that a 15-year-old should have stood up to a 40-year-old man and said no without completely understanding the power dynamics of what's going on.
The prefrontal cortex, right? It's not developed, and you're talking about these 40, 50-year-old men. These aren't just any men either. These are super wealthy, super powerful men. One that we know for a fact is like Prince Andrew, right? Like he's a prince of England. There's a power dynamic there that is just
Yes.
unmatched in like your
And it's
normal day-to-day
unspoken
life.
too. Like it
Yes.
doesn't need to, I think people don't understand the power dynamics of unspoken coercion, of unspoken pressure and manipulation,
Yes.
and how that changes the way we interact with people.
Absolutely.
If
And a
somebody
lot of
is related to your well-being, related to status, related to money, that is
mhm.
going to change the way you interact with that person, full stop.
This has really kind of opened this topic of what does society tolerate when it comes to abuse? And when we
Mhm.
bring in those phrases like barely legal, almost legal, that starts to blur those lines.
Yeah.
And all that does is just protect the abuser, not the victims in these situations. We all have survivors in our lives, whether we know it or not. And so it's just another reminder of how we're talking about these conversations, how we're engaging in this topic. It's going to impact those people around us who have also been through these
Yes.
types of violence, who have also experienced coercive control, and who have not felt like they had voice or were being believed or being protected.
And what you say about the Epstein files, what you say about the Diddy trial, or things of this nature that are in the spotlight, does have a ripple effect to the people around you, right? And the way in which you speak about the survivors and victims in these cases matters because you can either build that trust between you and the survivors in your life or break it down by the way you speak.